Okay, doing a quick recording of this plugin. So basically just download this zip file from the releases page from the GitHub. Once you have that downloaded, then you can open Blender and just drag and drop that add-on into here. Since I just did it, I'm not going to do it again. But yeah, basically that'll add a file import material colors and vertex colors here. And then if you don't see those, go to Edit Preferences, go to your add-ons on the left here, and then you can search for, yeah, you should see Bambu 3MF Importer is the name of the extension right now. So yeah, once that's there, we'll go to, actually before we import, I'm gonna just delete everything in the scene because we don't want any of this junk. And yeah, I'm just gonna import with the material colors one. You'll see there's a couple options up in the top right there for applying Boolean modifiers and for color similarity or a bounding box. I'm going to not set those initially, or I'm just going to leave them on default. But essentially this is like how many colors, how it'll match the colors. So a higher number will make a broader range of colors match to each other. So it's like magic wand type selection essentially to try to reduce the number of total colors that it creates when it imports this file. And then this bounding box is creating a little bit of a gap in between the two sliced parts that it'll create. So it's 1/10 of a millimeter is what I have it set here as default, which I think will work okay for like gluing pieces in, but it may take some kind of guesswork and fiddling around with different machines. So yeah, hit import. By default, that apply modifiers, it's gonna import all the parts, add a couple of boxes here. You can see that it used to Boolean apart these two things, or the one thing into two things. And yeah, essentially the way it did this is based on where it found the coloring, and it tried to map the coloring in from the Bambu 3MF file to like Blender materials. So yeah, once we're at this point, we can, we have basically the colored region and the uncolored region selected. So I'm gonna export those as a wavefront OBJ file. I just found that this retains the colors. And yeah, over here, let's do up axis as the, just makes it right side up, and yeah, selection only. And then let's just go back to example data and call this auto modifier applied. Yeah, kind of explain that in a minute when we go over the other one. But yeah, and I'll show why this would be an issue basically, just as is. So yeah, with that I'll go into Bambu, open up that file. When I go to edit, yeah, it picked out like 11 colors. I'm just gonna put in 4 colors, like we have 4 filament types. Hit OK. So yeah, you can see it's still kind of a full thing in here, but if you hit this, it'll split it into the individual pieces, and then hit this to arrange, and you can slice. So yeah, this is kind of the shortest possible version. And yeah, essentially the reason that this is an issue though is what it's warning about down here, that this creates this overhang here, and then also you can see kind of there's this little piece on the edge, so you wouldn't be able to just like slide this in from the side or from the top. There's kind of no way that we could slide it in, even though it does capture all of the colored part. So the alternative option, if if a model doesn't happen to slice in a way that is going to work well for reassembly, we can do it without that checkbox. So let's just delete everything again. So yeah, we're just going to not apply it right away, and then we'll manually apply it ourselves. I'll leave those still as default. And this will take a few seconds usually to import while it's mapping all the colors and adding these parts when it finds where the colored areas are. But yeah, essentially we're going to just edit these 2 boxes now. So I'm going to go wireframe mode, go to the front. Let's see, this is the outside one. So I hit tab to go into edit mode, AA to get rid of that, B for a box selection, grab it, Z. So yeah, GZ, say like, I don't know, 0.1. And I'm just moving it by some arbitrary amount that's like big enough to cut through the top of the head here. And then, yeah, I'm gonna edit the other bounding box to do the same thing. Tab to edit, AA, B, G, Z, 0.05, enter. So yeah, essentially that should still keep these like with the same kind of wrapping, because we offset them, the top vertices by the same amount there on the Z-axis. So yeah, should be good. Hit tab again to get back to object mode. You can also toggle that up here, object and edit mode. And yeah, Z to switch back to a solid, so we can just see that now we'll be able to like slot this in from the top cleanly. But yeah, since this didn't apply these modifiers, we do have to do that. So click on this guy. You can see the two guys with the wrench here, the colored one and the uncolored one, are the ones with the modifiers we have to apply. So yeah, you can just click the drop down here and hit apply, and then click on this other one, click on drop down, hit apply. And then I'm gonna hide these too, so we can see what we just did. So yeah, essentially we sliced out that little area. Really, we sliced out this part and then we sliced out that part separately. But yeah, we left this little gap in between them. And yeah, now we still have one more step here. So let me hide that region. So for the uncolored one, I'm gonna hit tab. So you can see there's like these inside faces here that it created when we sliced those out, but they have like a bunch of vertices along the edge. So that's like a n-gon with like a lot of ends. So yeah, I'm gonna hit A a couple times, or just hit A to select everything in here. If you hit A twice, it deselects. If you hit A once, it'll select everything. And then we'll go to face, triangulate faces, or yeah, Control T is the hotkey. And that'll basically turn this from an n-gon into a bunch of triangles, which will work for bamboo. I'll hide that one, show this one. Get out of edit mode, select it, go back into edit mode. A to select everything, triangulate faces again. So yeah, now both our parts are triangulated. Tab to get out of that. We can show both parts, we can select both parts and export it. As an OBJ again. Let's call this manual sliced. Sure. And yeah, add this guy into here. Same deal of it picked out 11 colors based on the materials that it reduced it to when it imported it. And yeah, it's just based on dealing with some gradients between the 3MF and trying to get them flattened out essentially. Same thing, hit the objects button, hit the arrange button, hit the slice button. And yeah, that should basically be it. A little bit of unfortunate news. The time doesn't really reduce that much. It does a little bit. It does look like the tower is way smaller, but I gotta be honest, I don't know how much it does in between for purging when the colors are down here versus if it's up there. I know it does build a less tall tower, so that's something, but yeah, I'm not sure how much the overall savings actually is, but play with it, let me know.